when a company considers the phrase digital transformation. When you think about reshaping internal operations or digitalizing processes and becoming data-centric. But how can you use the guidelines laid out for internal transformation for technological advancement? Hi everyone, and welcome. I'm Ronald van Loon, and today I'm at Bosch Connected World in Berlin. And I'm excited to share the opening keynote for this fantastic event. And giving the first part of this keynote today is Dr. Volkmar Denner, and he's the chairman of the board of management at Bosch. Bosch is a global leader in supplying technology and services, and has recently been undergoing a transformation. In this keynote, entitled Driving Change in Challenging Times, Dr. Denner aims to give insights into how Bosch approaches technological innovation, as well what is important to companies to consider moving towards the future. The next part of the keynote will be presented by Dr. Michael Boller, and he's the CDO and the CTO at Bosch, and Dr. Mark Shelby. He's the CTO at Cirrus Power. And their presentation titled Deep Dive, Transformational Outcomes, further explores the concept that Dr. Denner will share by giving some examples of their efforts in practice. And transformation is something that each and every company must consider, but it can be a daunting task. So a new challenge rises. Companies often struggle to stay innovative as digital transformation changes the business landscape really substantially. So please turn your attention to Dr. Denner, Dr. Boller, and Dr. Shelby, as they give a glimpse into their journey at Bosch.
I'll be your host for the next 2 days. It's great to see so many familiar faces. It's great to see so many new faces. As you know, the theme for this week is actually driving change in challenging times. So despite the challenging times that we're facing, it's great to see that we actually have a jam-packed house. We're full. This is great. Thank you for being here. Regarding the background of the conference, as you know, the Internet of Things, IoT, has been a key driver of change at Bosch for the last couple of years. So it's great to see that now finally artificial intelligence and IoT are coming together. And we have 2 days now to really look at this from many different angles. We have, of course, the keynote sessions, we have the breakout sessions, we have the expo over there, and we also have a very hands-on part of the conference. We have the lab stage, we have the BCX hackathon, so don't be afraid, you don't have to wear a Metallica t-shirt to be allowed into this part of the conference. Go there if you want to see how people really are implementing AIoT. For the keynote sessions, we have a number of different focus areas. This morning, we'll get started with looking at how AIoT really is helping us to be more energy efficient. Okay? So in times that we're living today with climate change, this is obviously a key thing for us to understand and see how we can contribute here. This is going to be what we'll be focusing on this morning. Then, of course, true to our own motto, Invented for Life, we really will look at how is AIoT going to have an impact on all the products, be it B2B or B2C type of products, and what we can do there. Then, of course, tomorrow morning we have the ITS keynote, where we will not only look at moving like a Bosch from the perspective of cars, we'll also be looking at trains, we'll be looking at, for example, the electrification of aviation. So this is also going to be really interesting, I think. And then in the afternoon, we will again look at this from the perspective of climate. So we have the Tech for Climate session. We want to look at how AIoT and many other technologies can really help us creating a positive impact here. So as you can see, it's a jam-packed program. It's a lot of actually quite complex topics that we're addressing. And I think there's one person who is really best suited to help us getting started with addressing this. Bosch CEO, Volkmar Denner. Can I please ask you on stage? Volkmar, when we started preparing for today, I think there were two things that really were at the forefront of what we were thinking about. One was we need to wake up. Climate change is here. The other thing is a somewhat positive, but also sometimes a little bit scary thing, the rise of machines, artificial intelligence. So two key topics. How do you feel personally about this?
Well, I think if we look at the left picture, I believe that fighting climate change is the most important and maybe also one of the most challenging tasks of our time. And if we listen to climate researchers, they tell us that limiting the temperature increase of the world to 2 degrees might be already too dangerous, because we might pass important tipping points in an irreversible manner. So they recommend to limit the increase to 1.5 degrees, which means from now on, from 2020 onwards, we have to constantly reduce year by year the CO2 emissions down to zero. So the gradient matters a lot. Now, I do not believe that we can manage this by restricting our living standards, our living habits to the pre-industrial age. So I strongly believe in the power of technology, or maybe I should say in the power of multiple technologies, orchestrated very well in an international cooperation. So I believe in the power of technology.
Great. Volkmar, thanks a lot. We look forward to your keynote.
But before you leave the stage, please allow me to thank you personally for organizing again this Bosch Connected World Conference. I know a lot of people have contributed to this, and my appreciation goes, of course, to the whole team, but personally to you, because it's your dedication, it's your passion that makes this Bosch Connected World Conference year by year one of the leading IoT conferences of the world. So thanks a lot in the name of problems we are discussing today, I think it's about finding the right balance between economic, ecological, and social aspects. I'd like to give you a few examples. Think about the fundamental changes we will see in how we move, powertrain concepts, the internal combustion engine, moving to battery electric vehicles, fuel cells, or all types of hybrids. And even the internal combustion engine, we will have to operate them based on CO2 reduced or CO2 neutral fuels. The huge field of automated driving, which offers huge opportunities. But also for buildings, we have to make this transition from burning fossil fuels to CO2 neutral energy. So these are huge opportunities, but they require huge investments as well. this means for companies that operate in the current technological space, we need, of course, a very viable, profitable business model, business to finance these changes. When it comes to IoT, we all have great examples. We will see proof of concepts, first running business models, but we are still struggling to really find big IoT business at scale. And when it comes to AI, artificial intelligence, the public discussion is very much about, will we lose jobs? Or how will jobs transform? Both having economical impacts as well. Let's look at ecology, which is currently in the main focus of the public discussion. I think Bosch has taken a bold move last year when we announced that we will put the company CO2 neutral starting 2020. And let me briefly report where we are on this journey. Our German operations were already CO2 neutral last year. So we are on a good path and we will achieve this goal in 2020 and from this onwards. Of course, we still need CO2 compensation measures, but I can also report the percentage of CO2 compensation is much less this year than we thought last year when we started. And we will constantly reduce CO2 compensation year by year, thereby improving the quality of our CO2 neutrality. Of course, energy efficiency is key. The energy we do not waste, we do not have to create, so that's the biggest and most important lever. When we come to society, the Bosch strategy, the Bosch motto is inventing for life, so we want products that create enthusiasm of our customers, improve their quality of life, and help to conserve natural resources. One of the Bosch core values is responsibility and sustainability. Of course, we as the management team, our first task is to optimize the company, to ensure the viability, the future of our company. But this Bosch value always calls that Bosch leadership always should also consider our impact on societies. How can we contribute something to the benefit of societies? And our CO2 neutrality is one example how we do this. As a technology company, we believe that technology has to be safe, secure, and trustworthy. Of course, we heavily have to invest in taking our people into this future, because clearly job qualifications will have to change. That's why Bosch keeps investing 250 million euros each year to qualify our people for this future, investing in AI, software, and, for example, artificial intelligence. We consider Bosch to be a learning company. Now let's come to the main topic of the conference, combining AI and IoT, as Dirk has explained, AIoT, and report on some of the progress we have made. We have divided this journey to become an IoT company a couple of years ago in three phases, three columns if you want. One is enablement. Let me briefly report where we are regarding enablement. I think overall, as an IoT industry, and specifically also as a company, Bosch, we have made good progress overall. Why? Reports say that about 30 billion devices in the world are connectable. We have ubiquitous connectivity. 5G will give a future boost of this. Within Bosch, 92% of all electronic product classes are connectable to the internet. My goal that I have set to the engineering community within Bosch was 100% 2020. We will not quite make it, but we are quite close. And we are looking exactly what the remaining 8% are, and we will close this gap. We also have completed our IoT tech stack. There was one important missing link, the IoT hub, the connection to the physical world, which we realized end of last year, so the stack we consider to be complete. 10 million devices are already connected to this Bosch IoT suite, so that's also, I think, a very good success. Where we are currently working on as an industry and also as a company is how to digitize our current business, our current ecosystems. I would name Connected Industry as one of the examples where I think we have made huge progress. We have numerous Bosch plants that have realized Industry 4.0 concepts and have raised double-digit productivity increases. One of our plants in Wuxi, China, was awarded by the World Economic Forum as one of the leading Industry 4.0 companies in the world. But of course, we still have challenges. We have heterogeneous ecosystems, and crossing the borders of the ecosystems still sometimes is not possible. Think about a smart home. You log into one ecosystem, but how can you control devices out of this ecosystem? Still an unsolved problem. Bosch is working on it. And still also the cost-benefit ratio for customers sometimes is not yet attractive enough. In the future, we have to link these ecosystems in cross-domain ecosystems. I'd also like to give you one example. Currently, a car operating on fossil fuels has its own ecosystem, gas stations. In the future, an electric car can only be thought of if you think it as a representative, as a member of an energy system. So energy system, car system is linked. That's an example of a cross-domain ecosystem. And what could we do, or what should we do in order to overcome these obstacles to digitize our current ecosystem and to move into cross-domain ecosystems? First, I think, is to strictly concentrate on customers, customer needs, and user experience, to create ease of use, trustworthiness of use, and availability of use. Let me reflect a little bit on our promises and whether we have kept them. And I'd like to reflect based on smart home systems. Because one of the promises was we will develop smart home systems that allow end customers to realize an intrusion system at much lower cost than a professional intrusion system. And you can install it on your own. Did we keep the promise? Yes, we did. If you take a smart home system from Bosch or competitors, it's at least a factor of 10 less expensive than a professional intrusion security system. And you can install it if you just follow the instructions in the app. You don't need any programming knowledge. We also promised that we will make multiple use of sensors. Before the IoT came to the home, the smoke detector had one single purpose: to detect fire and to make an alarm. Currently, we use the same device as an alarm system if the system detects an intrusion in your home. So it's a multiple use without any additional cost, and the user can configure it without programming, without knowing a programming language, by a graphical user interface in the app. We also promised we will develop sensors to smart sensor hubs. For example, the smoke detector, we added air quality sensors, for example. So today it's not only a sensor to detect fire, it's a sensor also that can detect air quality. But as I said, across ecosystem interoperability, if a device is not included, for example, in the Bosch smart home system, is still an issue. And we still do not have the open data market we are dreaming of. Of course, personal data require the highest level of protection as required by the GDPR in Europe, but non-personal data should be handled as freely as possible. And one thing I would like to mention that is sometimes forgotten is we all rely on enormous computing power, huge data centers, but they create a lot of CO2 as well. It's going up to about 10% already, and it's steeply ramping up. So CO2 neutral data centers is a very important topic based on renewable energy, or, solution from Bosch, a fuel cell run on green hydrogen. Okay, let's dig a little bit deeper into artificial intelligence. We have seen huge progress, for example, in speech recognition, picture, video recognition, even surpassing human capabilities. Really breakthroughs. But these use cases are still limited to video, for example, or to language recognition. And we also have to say it's quite easy, experts call it adversarial attacks, to fool these systems. Most of them are digital use cases, as for example, picture recognition. And very often they lead to results that even the designer cannot explain. And most of them rely on massive cloud computing power. They require huge training, and as I said, huge computing power. We want to design an artificial intelligence that is different. We call it industrial AI. So we want to transfer AI into products, machines, intelligent manufacturing, applications where there's interaction with humans, but also complex control tasks. In order to reach that customers trust our applications, we think algorithms have to be explainable. At least experts have to be able to explain what the algorithm does. And we believe that AI should also happen in the product, in the edge, as embedded AI. And Michael Bolle will give an example of a Bosch product later on in his presentation. And we strongly believe that we should all work to realize AI based on small amounts of data. Why? I give you two reflections on this. First, today, the more data you have, the better your AI algorithm performs. If this will persist in the future, I promise we will have the biggest monopolies we have ever seen. Only very few companies will be able to offer competitive AI. No small, no medium-sized enterprise has any chance at all. So that's one reason why we should do it. And the other reason comes from biology. Of course, we have seen the breakthrough, fantastic work of Google, who first showed that an algorithm can detect a cat based on 30 million video sequences used for training. It was a brilliant work. Have you ever met a child that had to be trained based on 30 million videos? Our brain somehow has the ability to recognize a cat with much less training. So we should do everything for both reasons to push research on this field. Now Bosch is betting big on AI. We will invest about 30 million euros in the Bosch Center for Artificial Intelligence, and in addition 100 million euro in the AI campus as part of the Cyber Valley in Tübingen. Since we believe by 2025 every Bosch product will have AI, either as a functionality incorporated or AI will have been used in its development or production, we are heavily investing to take our associates into this AI world by offering training for about 20,000 leaders, but also development engineers. But Bosch does not look at AI from a technology perspective only. We think AI work has to be accompanied by strong ethics. That's why we gave ourselves a code on ethics, which we published today for the first time. And Michael will give you more details. But in brief, AI should help and support people according to our Inventing for Life motto. AI should not make decisions affecting people without human oversight. We want safe, robust, and explainable AI. And to gain trust of our customers, we want to develop trustworthy AI. These are the basic elements of our ethics code. As a summary, many of our tasks we have to complete, questions we have to solve, require a delicate balance between economic, ecological, and social aspects, which is really difficult. And with respect to the AIoT, it's about bringing the physical and the digital worlds together, moving IoT from single ecosystems to cross ecosystems, and moving AI from narrow digital use cases, brilliant work, to the physical world, to complex control tasks. And to do this in a trustworthy way, with trustworthy AI based on ethical principles. And I strongly believe with this, we can successfully master the changes, even in the current challenging times. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot for Madena. So the bar is raised high. We've seen there are many different competing factors here. There's a lot of complexity in there. And it's my honor now to ask our CDO and CTO, Bosch CDO and CTO, Michael Bolle, on stage to explain us how we solve this. Thanks, Michael.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Dirk, for the introduction and Volkmar for giving a very broad overview. And we have seen many aspects of technology in the overview which has been presented by Volkmar. And our agenda today and tomorrow is really packed by those technology challenges and offers a lot of opportunities. So on the one hand side, we are in the midst of a mobility revolution. And tomorrow we will talk about this. We hear the factory of the future knocking at our doors at the plants. So it's coming near to us. And today we will also talk about AI in space. But coming to reality, we see the circumstances in society, in corporations, in technology are very complex, and I think Volkmar gave us a very good overview of the various significant aspects we have to consider. So on the one hand side, we have to balance social, economic, and ecologic boundary conditions. On the other side, we have to be honest about our corporations in itself. So if we look into our companies, into our corporations, we see a lot of legacy technologies. One of the legacy technologies are the operating systems we use in our companies, in our plants. And I would like to ask a question to you here in this audience. Who of you are today using in your corporations, in your operations, an old version of Windows like Windows 7? Please raise your hands. Okay. I see many of you raising your hands, so you understand the power and the challenge of this complexity, because we have to bring in new technologies, up-to-date technologies, and that's one of the challenges we have. On the other side, we have challenges in regulations. We have new regulations popping up. Currently, the European Commission is thinking about regulations in the field of AI, for example. And on the other hand, and we talked about this in the Bosch Connected World over the last years, we talk about complete new ecosystems and business models which we have to tackle. So we can conclude here that the underlying complexity we have to deal with has increased significantly, and we have to wonder what is really necessary in order to tackle these complexities. You might think of very complicated and complex formulas, which I'm going to explain to you. But I want to come with a very good news. And the good news is things can be done very simple. And today I will focus on three main elements which we find necessary in order to drive successfully the change in challenging times. So I'll start with the first one, and this is a continuation of what Dirk introduced and Volkmar explained to us. That's the notion of the AIoT, which is the combination of IoT and artificial intelligence. And today we are in a very good position in Bosch, for example, that 92% of our product classes are already connected, and this has been done with great passion and energy of the Bosch people contributing to that. And now we have all these connected products in the field, but talking about user experience, what is the benefit for the customer in connecting a product? The benefit for the customer is that this product becomes intelligent and provides additional value services to those customers. And in order to do this, we now have to go in the next phase of the Internet of Things. That's what we call AIoT, and this will be a cornerstone of the digital transformation. And Volkmar already explained key elements which have been done inside Bosch in the past years in order to introduce this. The second element in order to drive digital transformation and digital change is the notion of partnerships and co-innovation. And the Bosch Connected World, which we have done over the last few years, is a very good example of a platform in order to drive this co-innovation. And we have installed additional measures inside Bosch to drive co-innovation together with partners, with other companies, with universities, with startups, in order to tackle especially the challenging problems in technology. And the last element is related to trust. And trust in digital ecosystems is a key important factor. And looking from a perspective of a product company, technology product company, the notion of trust is not a new element for us. It's inside our DNA. And in previous times, this was closely connected to the notion of the quality of our products. And in order to transform this notion of quality into the digital area, we have to create digital trust at our customers. And one element of our future products and our vision for our future products is to have, by the year 2025, all products and machines of Bosch containing artificial intelligence or containing the AIoT, or have been produced and developed using AI. This is our vision, and this has as a key element the notion of artificial intelligence. If we look into the public space and public discussions about AI, it is dominated by fear. People are afraid of this technology because they fear they lose their jobs, they fear they lose control over technology, and they fear they do not understand technology at all in the future. In order to create digital trust for our customers and digital trust in the ecosystems, we have to tackle this problem. And one very strong message and very strong measure we introduce in this context is the notion of the Bosch AI Code of Ethics. So this gives boundary conditions for us, how we deal with artificial intelligence, how our engineers and our employees deal with artificial intelligence. And this is consequently derived from our company ethos, Invented for Life. So the first and main important element is that we have to develop artificial intelligence that can be trusted by humans. So these are our customers, this is the society, and people should trust it. Second, very important notion, there is a clear purpose behind artificial intelligence. And the purpose of artificial intelligence is it should help and support people, according to Invented for Life. Third one is a very crucial point in order to deal with the fear of the people. We say that AI should not make decisions about people without human oversight. So we have to make sure that for all decisions algorithms make about people, in one or the other way, humans are involved. And we have three main categories in order to deal with this. We call it human in the loop, human on the loop, and human in control. So these are basic concepts, how humans interact with machines and algorithms, and these are dealt with in our codex. For a product company and technology company like Bosch, the next point is absolutely crucial. And this is one of the target points we address with our codex. That's the notion of safe, robust, and explainable AI. These are key elements we have to ensure in order to create digital trust in our products. And I give you an example for this. In the middle picture you see the first AI camera from Bosch, which is currently introduced with a customer of us in Europe. And this camera has the task to perceive the surroundings of a car. So it looks in the front of the car and has to understand what kind of objects do I find in front of the car. So this could be other cars, it could be pedestrians, trees, and so on. And out of this recognition of the environment, actions are taken. So one action could be to brake or to steer. So the action is directed to concretely saving lives. So this technology, the AI camera, will ultimately save lives on the street. And then it's absolutely clear that we have to care about, if we use AI, and this is our first AI camera, that the algorithms we implement are safe and robust and explainable. And Volker explained it very shortly in this presentation. It is known that those cameras can be fooled. What does fooling mean? In a very simple example, you can put a sticker on a traffic sign in such a way that standard algorithms, not the algorithms we use, but standard algorithms are fooled, and they detect not a speed limit, but they detect a stop signal or other signals. So this could lead us to very dangerous situations in the traffic, and therefore it's important for us to work on the notion of safe, robust and explainable AI, and to drive forward the state of the art in these concepts of safety and robustness in the field of AI. And we are doing this in providing and executing active research in this area. So this concludes our three main areas where we think these are the success factors in order to successfully drive change in challenging times. So on the one hand side, it's the AIoT, second point is co-innovation, and third point is digital trust. And this will be also the guiding principles for the next part of our presentation, which is going into the details and going into the real world and showing you real world examples. And we do these real world examples based on the biggest challenge we currently have on Earth. And the biggest challenge we all know currently we have is climate change. So now the important question is, what can and what will digital technologies provide in order to tackle these problems? And this will be the focus of my examples, which I will show to you. So the first example is about increasing energy efficiency. So in order to fight climate change, we have to reduce CO2 footprint, and we have basically two mechanisms in order to do this. On the one hand side, we have to increase the amount of renewables which are used for energy production. And on the other side, and that's the focus point of my example here, we have to lower consumption. And lower consumption can be done by increasing efficiency, and increasing efficiency is a technology game. And this is what I would like to explain to you. And the first example I give is a big automotive plant in Germany, in Hamburg, which we have completely installed with digital technologies in order to drive down energy consumption, in order to reduce CO2 footprint. So overall, just to give you an idea, in Hamburg we have installed overall about 3,000 engines, so 3,000 machines. And these machines have a huge energy consumption, and this energy consumption is highly fluctuating. It depends on the way we produce our products, it depends on the way how energy is delivered, and so on. So the first step we did is to create a complete digital twin of this factory, including energy sources, including all machines in the plant, and develop a complete digital model of this. Now the second point we have to do, if we have a digital model, we have to completely fill it with data. And in order to fill it with data, we need the IoT. So all the machines, all the energy supplies are connected. So this gives us a huge amount of real-time data, and we use this data in the factory, and actually it's a huge amount of big data which we can use in applying machine learning and artificial intelligence in order to optimize the overall energy consumption, the overall efficiency of this plant in real time. So this is an example of AIoT in factory. And what is the result? The total savings we achieved in this plant are 22,500 tons of CO2, which is a little bit an abstract concept. So let's translate it into real-world equivalents. This is equivalent of 1.8 million grown-up trees absorbing CO2 over the period of 1 year. I think this is a really great example which shows how technology, AIoT, can help us in solving our CO2 problems. And remember, this is an example of one Bosch plant in Germany. Overall, Bosch has 240 plants worldwide, so you can imagine the potential which is behind this approach. The next example is in power generation, and we talked about power consumption also in the digital space, and one of the machine rooms in the digital space are data centers. And data centers have a high demand for this kind of decentral power generation products, and Bosch is developing a product like this. Actually, you can see it over there. It's our first solid oxide fuel cell power generator, which we developed jointly together with a startup company, Ceres. I will come to that later. The key KPI for a power generator based on SOFC is efficiency, AC net efficiency, and the net efficiency of this product with leading technology is 60%, and it delivers an overall power output of 10 kilowatt. The product is developed in a modular way, so you can stack those elements of 10 kilowatt in order to provide power up to several megawatts. So 10 kilowatt is one, let's call it Lego element, which you can build up also to bring in huge powers to big data centers. And this SOFC can not only be operated by hydrogen, so this would be the absolutely clean version of it, producing no emissions at all, also no CO2, or you can combine it with natural gas in order to have a hybrid mode. And even in this hybrid mode, we achieve reductions of 40% CO2. So now some of you ask, what is the connection to AIoT for this product? And I will explain this on the next slide. So first of all, SOFC is a completely new product which is currently introduced into the market. And we decided right from the beginning that we go for an agile approach in order to develop this product. So for the software guys here in the room, agile development is not new. For the hardware people, to do a complex product like this in a complete agile fashion is really a new approach which we tackled here. And we combined this agile hardware development, hardware and software development, I have to say, we combined this with a connected development approach. So the development of this device, which is to a large extent also a very complicated control engine behind it, is done in a fully connected way. So the product itself, so for example this prototype you see over there, is constantly connected, and we use digital twin technology in order to develop the product and to optimize the key KPIs of this product. For example, the power consumption, efficiency figures, and other things. So it's a complete agile approach using AIoT and machine learning as key technologies. And the next element of this is what I described as the second key element of successful driving change. That's the notion of co-innovation and partnering with other companies in this case. So right from the beginning, we choose a startup which was leading the technology in the field of SOFCs. And this startup company is called Ceres Power. And I'm very happy that we have today the CEO of Ceres Power here on stage. So please welcome Max Helby.
Of the product, and you got a little bit of a promotion here as well. So let me ask you, what is a fuel cell actually?
So really simply, a fuel cell is a solid state device that turns fuel into electricity. And the beauty of doing that in solid state in one step is it's the most efficient way of converting fuel to electricity known to physics.
Right. But it's actually not something new, so why now?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. And I think you have to start with the end in mind. And the reason these technologies are being developed and commercialized now is because people have looked to the future and said, well, what does an energy system need? It needs technologies that are efficient, that are flexible, that can work on any fuel, that can scale, that are efficient at any scale, that can turn on and off when you need them. And fuel cells now can do that, and people are now starting to value those attributes in a way that they haven't done historically. So when you look at the transition we're going to go through and what that end state is, fuel cells offer both a solution for the transition and a solution that's ready for that future state, and that's really important.
Right. So when you look at this, really, we're in the early stages of a new ecosystem being formed here. So we use co-innovation to building up this ecosystem, and I think a good analogy for this ecosystem could be how PCs are manufactured. So you have the PC manufacturers, you have the chip manufacturers, and you have the chip designers, like the ARMs. So my understanding is you would be a little bit like a chip designer, and Bosch would be a little bit like the PC manufacturer. Is that a fair analogy?
I think it's a great analogy, and I think you mentioned ARM there, because they're probably the best corporate example of this business model. And why is that interesting? Why is it relevant? What does it enable? So Bosch is a world-class manufacturer and product company. And we're really a world-class material science company. So it doesn't make sense for us to turn into a product company, and it doesn't make sense for Bosch to turn into a material science company. So this collaboration is really powerful. And if you look at what it enabled for ARM, in the 90s, you had a small technology company from Cambridge, had over 95% market share in the emerging smartphone market. So it achieved almost total global dominance by partnering, by licensing intellectual property to Samsung and Apple and Texas Instruments and all those sorts of partners. So what we're trying to do with great partners like Bosch is to really emulate that model of changing the world. And I think if you put this in context of an energy transition, the change that's needed is so large, no one company is going to do it. So a partnership with Bosch, with Ceres and with our other partners means we can change the world faster.
Right. So in this journey that we're embarking on now, what do you think we as Bosch should have learned so far from you?
I think one of the things that Bosch can learn and is learning and already on that journey, and you've talked about it with agile hardware development, is transitions always involve a degree of risk. And I think one of the things that big companies like Bosch are starting to learn is that you have to take that risk, and there are ways of taking that risk and seeking it in a way that creates value for everyone involved. So it's great to be part of a partnership that feels like it's prepared to take some risk to get to that end state as quickly as possible. And that's super powerful. I think that's where Agile comes in.
So, from a Bosch point of view, managing risk, Michael, what says you?
So I fully agree to his point, and that was also the reason that we started our team, so which developed this prototype as an agile organization, as a startup organization inside Bosch. Because we saw, in order to deal with this challenge of accepting risk, being fast, and also push it to the limits, we have to give them a new environment in order to learn this. And the important step now was to combine, let's say, the power of Ceres with the power of our engineering team, and I think it was a very complementary setup we had. So, as Mark explained, the technology company, electrochemistry, and the hardware side on the one hand side, and the Bosch part of it is the product development, the system integration, the software part. So to a large extent, and please visit us on the booth, this is a highly complex software animal we are dealing with, and this is our part. And I think this interaction between a high-tech electrochemistry company and a high-tech product company coming together, and in record time, I also have to say this one, this product and this prototype has been developed in absolutely record time. That's a great achievement, and it shows really this advantage of best of both worlds, I would say.
Excellent. So we have another one at booth number 12. Wilfried Kirchhoff was there earlier on, will be there. Mark, I'm sure you will be there. I was promised that we can actually open it, look inside it, and understand really on a very technical detail how it works.
Yeah,
Mark, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
So the next example is also from the field of hydrogen, and it's talking about hydrogen boiler. And actually, some of you may know or may not know that the largest contribution of CO2 in Germany is coming on heat supply. So if we really want to find a big level there, we have to consider heat supply. And 44% from the commercial use cases are contributing to this part. So Bosch is a big supplier in this field, and therefore we have developed a new product which is able to be absolutely clean, and we call this an H2 ready boiler. And over there you see an example of this boiler, and you will also see an example how this connects to AIoT. So Dirk, please.
Having Daniel Gosse here with me. Hi Daniel. He is the marketing manager of Bosch Thermal Technology, and well, you brought us a little toy here. What does this actually do?
Actually, this is a hot water boiler, and I'm proud to say we are pioneers in being able to fire it not only with biofuels, but also with up to 100% of hydrogen, meaning there's only water vapor coming out of this boiler instead of flue gas.
Right, and that's the big one, right?
That's actually one of the smallest ones.
Okay.
It's just one component in complex heat systems that we are providing. The largest one couldn't fit it in this hall.
Well, maybe next year. Let's see. What kind of customers are using this and what for?
We are using these boilers in all kinds of applications, starting from commercial buildings, heatings, for also hospitals, but also for the production of food, clothes, pharmaceuticals, like Nestle, Mercedes, you name it, you will find Bosch boilers all around the globe.
Okay. And what does make this one so special?
Actually, our strength is not just in this classical business of the boiler. Our strength lies in the controls part. Because in some factories, the heat is essential to processes of the factory. Meaning, if this thing goes down, the whole production stands still.
Right.
This makes it the ideal use case for connectivity-based features.
Okay. And obviously you have built connectivity into this, so can we have a look at this?
Yes, of course. We also have introduced an interface for the operators that you can see here, and this combines then connectivity with artificial intelligence, meaning the operator can access it from anywhere, and he can see by the use of pattern recognition, the system evaluates where are problems in the system and guides him through how to solve them. And at the end also we use predictive maintenance features, so we can show what is the remaining lifetime of components that are essential to either efficiency, reliability, or safety.
Right.
So in other words, we are helping companies all around the world to manufacture like Bosch.
Okay, so you use IoT for connectivity to get the data, and then you use AI to actually make sense of the data. So what kind of sensors have you built in?
We have various sensors inside, starting at chemical sensors for water quality, temperature, pressure sensors. There's really loads of them. That's the main difference to industrial products, because of course their cost is a different factor than in small tiny devices we carry around.
Right.
Therefore we sometimes have a little bit more sensor technology inside in these kind of applications.
So I would say that's textbook AIoT then. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stefan.
Thanks, Daniel.
So great also to a physical extent, a great example of AIoT products from Bosch. And in order to set it in a context here, I would like to explain a little bit what has been demonstrated over there. So on the one hand side, this is an example of a connected product, and this product are typically turnkey products, so we bring in these boilers on premise of our customer and ensure that these boilers from day one on are connected, so we can see offline in our back end at any time, any point in time, how this boiler is operated, what its status is, and so on. On the other side, during the initial use of this product, customers typically come up with a lot of new requirements. What could be done on the app side in order to better control, to optimize the operation of this product. And we are now able to update the corresponding algorithms, the corresponding software, and feed this software back to the boiler in order to bring the software to the latest status. And here a very important aspect comes into play, and that's again the aspect of trust, because these devices have a huge cost point on the one hand side and have a huge impact on the operation of buildings and factories. So we have to make absolutely sure that this updated firmware is running 100% according to the requirements and that it cannot be disturbed on the way. So we have to provide a really secure connection between our back end and the product, and we do this via over-the-air technologies in order to secure this. Now we have shown in the circle on the left-hand side how we can do this with one customer. But we have hundreds, thousands of these products in the field also for other customers, and now the next point is to use this technology and bring it to the whole portfolio of our products. So take the learnings of one example and one product and roll it out to our whole product space. So this is the notion of co-innovation and partnerships also with other customers in order to develop new requirements and new features of our products. So I think this is also, again, a great example of clean tech on the one hand side combined with AIoT in order to keep the products up to date, bring in new features to the market, and roll it out to a whole product portfolio. Now, having said that, I would like to summarize what we have seen so far. So we have given you 4 examples of products inside Bosch, which we have applied and done together with customers. And all of these products use and make use of these main elements which I have explained to you. So on the one hand side, AIoT, second point, co-innovation, and third point, digital trust. What else do we learn out of this experiments and out of this prototypes? So first of all, the most important thing you have to bring in to the table is the right skill set of people. The second one is you really have to imply and execute co-innovation. So you have to do this inside your company and your corporations, cross divisions, cross departments. You have to do this with external companies. You have to do this with startups. And the third main element we have seen is it is necessary to provide an integrated IoT technology stack, and we have seen earlier the IoT suite is an important aspect of this. So having learned all of this, we decided to bring in this experience of 300 projects we have executed in the IoT space and 900 people in a new organization which is called Bosch IO. And the mission and vision of Bosch IO is to combine the I and T of the Internet of Things and to make IoT living. And the key elements of this is, on the one hand side, the people, the 900 skilled people in the IoT space with UX experience, with technology experience, with business development experience, integration experience, bringing all those people together in the new organization, Bosch IO, and also to complete our technology stack, which consists on the one hand side of the IoT suite. The IoT suite has been extended with new elements. The new elements compared to last year's BCW are the Bosch IoT Hub, which is now as a product in the portfolio, and Bosch IoT Insights, which gives analysis and diagnosis capabilities into our IoT stack. And the second element is the provision of hybrid cloud technology, which makes use of public clouds on the one hand side and the Bosch Internet Cloud on the other side. So this is a complete portfolio of Bosch IO, and Bosch IO has a very good starting point because we have a significant amount of customers already in place where we can apply technology experience of our people in order to make those customers successful. And we are also serving not only one domain, so we are serving several domains. So we are active in the industrial space, we are active in the building space, we are active in smart agriculture, customer goods, mobility. So, and this is one of the big advantages of Bosch IO. It's really working, thinking, and living cross-domain and providing technologies to our customers which are really able to cross the various domains. And the last example, which we will outline also in the next talk, I would like to give are malls and the usage of IO technologies in malls, in shopping malls. And in shopping malls, you have typically a situation where you cover many different areas. So on the one hand side, you have to monitor your infrastructure. So you could use IoT sensors in order to monitor your energy consumption and optimize it. The change in mobility behavior of the people will lead to the fact that people ask for charging opportunities in shopping malls. So you need to provide also technologies in order to optimize this. You need to provide space management technologies. And actually, if you look in all these examples, you see that technologies from various domains have to be combined, and therefore talking about shopping malls and looking into shopping malls is a very interesting field also for IoT technologies. And actually, last year we started the discussion about malls about shopping malls with a challenge. Actually, Dirk initiated this challenge, and we are now very happy to see the results of this challenge and talk about shopping malls.
Thanks, Michael.
So this concludes my talk. I just want to highlight once again the three main points which are in my and our conception the key success factors. That's the usage of AIoT on the one hand side. That's a strong belief and execution in co-innovation. And the third and key element for us is the implementation of digital trust in all our products. With that, I conclude my part, and thank you very much. Thank you.
This was a great keynote. And Bosch's commitment to social, to ecological, to environmental stability is at the core of every product, every process, every decision. It's a balance of these three considerations that build the foundations of their transformation. And Bosch held to a central ethos during their transformation, invented for life. And this is the key driving the positive change in their organization and for the world. As Bosch was undergoing transformation, they began to see the possibilities that are the combination of AI and IoT. And this is building a base for new business models. And many organizations are currently facing these type of same challenges. And Bosch experiences may help you to elevate your own transformation. So invest in the economical, but also in the ecological and in the social aspects of technology that can provide more far-reaching positive benefits for humans and also for the environment. So resources are limited and the emissions produced by companies are harming the planet. So companies must be more aware of their impact on the environment and take steps to mitigate this. So collaboration is really the cornerstone of every future-oriented plan. So to move society forward, we must work together to research, to develop, and to deploy new technologies beneficial to the human race. And you need people from different businesses, from different countries, and beliefs to ensure a robust, meaningful development. And finally, change your approach to AI and to IoT. The combination of these technologies referred to as AIoT has the ability to augment humans in every environment. And these technologies have the power to make people and products and cities really smart. Imagine if your car can tell you where to find your parking through communication with other cars using IoT technology, things as sensors. As a business leader, you need to walk the talk and follow through with initiatives that can better the world we live in. And set an example for your peers and other companies as you move forward with responsible technological innovation. And for more insights about ethical AI, about digital transformation and responsible technological innovation, check out the links below. I'm Ronald van Loon, and this is the Intelligent World from Bosch Connected World in Berlin.